Hey everyone, welcome to the STEM Research Society. My name's Avi.
My name is Michelle.
And I'm Zina.
We'll be diving into some fascinating new research findings covering a wide range of topics from internet addiction among teenagers to cement made out of shells. Stay tuned as we explore the latest discoveries from the week of June 9th to June 14th.
First up, we're diving into some exciting new psychology research: internet addiction among teenagers and its impact on brain development. Recent research from UCL gives us some important insights into this growing issue. This study looked at 12 articles involving 237 teenagers diagnosed with internet addiction. Using special brain scans called functional fMRI or fMRI, researchers examined how too much internet use changes brain connectivity in kids aged 10 to 19. They found significant changes in brain activity. There was a mix of increased and decreased activity in areas associated with rest, the default mode network, and less connectivity in parts needed for active thinking, the executive control network. These changes aren't just physical, they affect behavior and biology too. Teens showed signs of addictive behavior, changes in thinking abilities, disrupted sleep, and trouble with social relationships. Max Chang, a behavioral psychologist, said, "Adolescence is a critical stage where the brain undergoes significant development. Internet addiction during this phase can lead to negative behavioral changes that impact various aspects of their life." Irene Lee, the senior author, highlighted that while the internet has benefits, it can be harmful where it interferes with daily life. In the UK, many teens spend over 24 hours a week online, with more than half feeling addicted and experiencing negative impacts on their life. So what can we do about it? Practical steps include setting sensible time limits on internet use and raising awareness about its psychological and social effects, especially for teens. In conclusion, while the internet offers amazing opportunities, its overuse can be risky, especially for developing teenage brains. More research is needed to improve treatment and prevention strategies. Continuing on the topic of psychology, here's some more groundbreaking biopsych research to explore. We're exploring how magic tricks are helping scientists unlock the mysteries of animal minds. Imagine a world where birds and monkeys are the audience, and the magician is a scientist. Elias Garcia Pellegrin, a former cruise ship magician turned animal behaviorist, takes center stage at Cambridge University's Comparative Cognition Lab. Instead of coins and balls, he performs sleight-of-hand tricks with live waxworms for Eurasian jays and monkeys. These tricks aren't just entertainment, they're experiments revealing how different species perceive and interact with their environment. What works on humans doesn't always fool birds or monkeys, showcasing unique cognitive abilities shaped by evolution. The magic isn't limited to land. Scientists even perform tricks for kias, large parrots from New Zealand known for their curiosity and occasional mischief. By observing the reactions to magical transformations of treats, researchers like Gabriella Smith explored deeper questions about animal expectations and emotions. But how does magic reveal these insights? Imagine a bird called J-Lo. No, I'm not talking about the singer. Expecting a delicious waxworm but finding cheese instead. Like a surprised audience member, J-Lo's behavior hints at its understanding of the unexpected. Through these experiments, scientists like Nikki Clayton and her colleagues are not only unraveling the cognitive capabilities of different species, but also questioning how consciousness and future planning evolve across the animal kingdom. That's all for me. Now I'm going to hand over to Michelle to expand more on some other topics for psychology. Thank you.
Continuing with the theme psychology, we're diving into some fascinating research about anxiety in teenagers. Did you know that adolescence is a time when our brains are still developing and adapting to new challenges? Right now, cognitive behavioral therapy is the main treatment for teen anxiety, but new discoveries using brain imaging are offering hope for more treatment options. As we grow, our brains change in structure and function. During the teenage years, parts like the amygdala and hippocampus, which are linked to emotions and memory, change the most. The prefrontal cortex, which helps control emotions, changes more slowly. This imbalance can lead to more stress and anxiety in teens. Fear is a natural response to danger, but when it sticks around too long, it can turn into anxiety. People with anxiety who often can't tell when a threat is gone and may think that bad things will happen again in similar situations. The amygdala creates fear memories, while parts of the prefrontal cortex help weaken these memories. The hippocampus helps in fear extinction and how we feel fear in different situations. Research shows that teens can create fear memories but struggle to get rid of them compared to other age groups. Even when the loud noise, which is a scary stimulus, stops, teens still react to a neutral thing that was paired with it. When teens do manage to extinguish their fear, it often comes back, so they need to keep relearning to overcome it. This has big implications for treatments like CBT, which involve identifying anxiety triggers, finding coping strategies, and desensitizing fears. But since the prefrontal cortex in teens is still developing, CBT might not be as effective. One new strategy is called memory reconsolidation updating. Every time we recall a memory, it can be changed. By reactivating a fear memory and then disrupting it, scientists can alter the original fear memory. Studies in humans and rats suggest that using a reminder cue to bring up the fear memory, followed by a delay before trying to extinguish it, could help teens overcome fear. Another idea is using safety cues that signal there's nothing to fear. These cues can help make early treatment stages more tolerable so patients don't drop out. Over time, safety cues can help reduce fear responses, giving patients a chance to use CBT. It's important to know that anxiety in real life is much more intense than in lab experiments, and treatments like CBT and antidepressants often help but aren't perfect. So combining approaches like reconsolidation updating or safety cues with traditional methods might be the best way to treat anxiety effectively. Now, shifting gears, there's been a recent breakthrough in the field of mathematics. Today we're talking about Hippasus of Metapontum, the guy who is believed to have discovered irrational numbers. He was a Pythagorean, part of a group that focused on math and number mysticism. The Pythagoreans thought that everything in the world could be described using rational numbers, like whole numbers and fractions. But when Hippasus measured the length ratios of a pentagram, he found that some lengths couldn't be expressed as fractions. This led to the discovery of irrational numbers, which can't be written as simple. But when Hippasus measured the length ratios of a pentagram, he found that some lengths couldn't be expressed as fractions. This led to the discovery of irrational numbers, which can't be written as simple fractions. The Pythagoreans were pretty unique for their time. They rejected wealth, lived as vegetarians, and believed in reincarnation. Eventually, the group faced several attacks and disappeared completely. Still, their discovery of irrational numbers has had a lasting impact on mathematics.
For chemistry-related research, we're talking about something really cool. Promethium. It's one of the rarest elements on the periodic table, and it's radioactive too. Recently, scientists have managed to get promethium to mix with water so they can study how it bonds with other elements. There are only about half a kilogram of promethium in the Earth's crust, and it was first discovered in 1945 in Tennessee. Scientists had suspected there was an element with the atomic number 61 because there was a gap in the periodic table. But it took until 1945 to finally isolate it. These days, we get small amounts of promethium from the radioactive decay of uranium. It's used in things like glowing paint and nuclear batteries, but since it's so radioactive, it's unstable and tricky to study. However, research in Oak Ridge National Laboratory have figured out a way to make a promethium compound in water. This method reduces the harmful effects of its radioactivity and avoids forming the crystal structure, which lets scientists study its chemistry in detail for the first time. They made a compound called bipyrrolidine diglucamide, which is known to form stable compounds with elements similar to promethium. When they reacted it with promethium, it turned bright pink. By using X-rays, they discovered its chemical bonds and bond lengths. This new information could help make purer samples of promethium from radioactive waste, which might lead to new medical compounds and better nuclear batteries. Pretty awesome, right? Now shifting to the fields of physics and engineering, I have two fascinating topics to discuss. First, I've got an exciting story about a groundbreaking project from Kyoto University. They've created the world's first wooden satellite to make space exploration more eco-friendly. This project started back in 2020. The satellite is made out of Magnolia wood panels, using traditional Japanese joinery techniques without any glue or metal. It's set to launch into orbit from the International Space Station in November. This satellite is actually pretty small. It's only 10 centimeters long. It has an aluminum frame, solar panels, circuit boards, and sensors. Its main goal is to tackle the problem of space debris. When this wooden satellite re-enters the Earth's atmosphere, it will completely burn up, leaving only water vapor and CO2. If this mission succeeds, it could show that wood might be a good material for building shelters on the moon and Mars, but there are still so many questions about how the wood will handle cosmic radiation and its impact on the material over time. Finally, we're looking into some amazing new research from Princeton University. They've created a new type of cement that's crack resistant and practically unbreakable. This new material is modeled after the structure of a shell, making it 19 times more flexible and 17 times more crack resistant than regular cement. In the past, scientists tried to make cement tougher and more flexible, but they only managed to make small improvements. This team took inspiration from nacre, a natural substance found inside certain shells. Nacre has a 3D brick and mortar structure which allows it to absorb energy and stay tough despite its brittle parts. The researchers laid cement paste sheets with a flexible polymer to create tiny multi-layered beams. When they tested these beams by bending them, they found that the nacre-like composites had 17 times higher fracture toughness and were 1,791% more ductile than regular cement. This new material could be a game changer for construction, making bridges and structures more durable.
That's all for today's episode. As always, you'll find the links to everything we discussed in the description.
Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.